Welcome back everyone, Oz here. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And today we're going to be exploring r/IDontWorkHereLady. No, I can't fire him, lady. Work dress is business shirt and tie with black dress pants and black business shoes. Boss does not care about colors of shirts and ties as long as you look professional. Today I came into work wearing a pale blue shirt with a dark blue tie. Air conditioning at work is horrible, and being 35 degrees Celsius, or 96.8 degrees Fahrenheit, was exhausting. Across the road is a shopping complex, and the air conditioning is great, so I go over there for lunch and look around while on break to enjoy the coolness. Enter a retail store. Their uniform is a polo shirt and in a dark navy blue with the store name on the chest. Walking around, I hear some commotion going on. Sounds like a family arguing, in this area a common occurrence. So just keep on looking around where I see this old lady, OL, come from where the commotion was and looking at me. Excuse me. Yes? You need to fire that employee over there. I look over to where the old lady was pointing, to some guy who, while had on a shirt similar to the store, there clearly was no store name embroidered onto the breast of that shirt. I'm sorry, but he refused to help me even though he works here. Fire him now or I'll get you fired too. Ma'am, I can't fire him. He clearly is not a member of staff as that is not the store uniform. Old lady looks back at him, quick once over before turning back to me. I think she was going to say something before I continued. Now, if you want to complain about me, go right ahead because I do not work here either. The look on old lady's face was a mixture of embarrassment and rage. I found her at the customer service desk, possibly complaining to the unfortunate staff member behind the counter. Glad she found someone on the third try, but hope she cooled down before talking to them. No, I can't watch your kid. I'm a security officer. I work at high-risk areas in the city. I often work on weekends and have several bars, nightclubs, and liquor stores I work at. I get dressed in my uniform before I arrive at a venue because public bathrooms are uncomfortable to change into a security uniform. This day was a big day for security because of a show happening at a nearby stadium in the city in conjunction with a football game happening the same day. There were thousands of people passing through the open shopping center that the liquor store is located within just a few hours. I had made it to this particular shift at a liquor store about 30 minutes early because I was afraid I wouldn't find a parking spot. So, I decided to sit down outside of the store and listen to my music before my shift. A lady with a small child came up to me and demanded that I take care of her child while she went to the ATM to withdraw money. Hey, you're security. Watch my son while I grab some notes from the ATM. No. Excuse me? You're security. You get paid to look after people. You have to watch my son. It's your job. Actually, I'm that liquor store security guard. I point to the store. Security officers do not look after people, we take care of our client's property. I'm not on shift right now, and I'm relaxing before my shift. I put my earbuds back in. Sorry, I can't help. Then you shouldn't be wearing your security uniform. She stormed off to complain about me to another security guard who is from a different company that actually was securing the shopping center. He and I often talk and joke during our shifts and exchange information with each other about people of interest that we see in the shopping center. Needless to say, he just laughed because what is he supposed to do about it? It's not his job either. She ended up just yelling at our kid to stay next to her while she took out the money and walked towards the stadium. I went into my liquor store and told the employees about it. We all still laugh when I bring it up. The real mystery here is why she needs someone to watch her kid while she gets money from the ATM. Is she like that incapable of watching over her children, or is her child that much of a little devil? I don't work here, lady. Clearly. So I had no idea the subreddit existed until now, but it is very specific to a funny story that happened to me a couple of months ago. I had been living out of home for quite a while. I was renting a house with some friends. My sister and I are practically best friends and we hadn't seen each other in a while, so we decided to go out to dinner at the Chinese restaurant in our small town. It was a Saturday, so it was a buffet night, my favorite. I should add that I am quite an eccentric person, so I dress quite strangely. Tonight I was wearing a pastel pink t-shirt with a Pepsi crop top sweater. I was also wearing skinny jeans and had a wool sarong sort of thing tied around my waist. I had gone up with my plate to get some food and I was behind a rather heavy guy who was dual-wielding plates and piling them. He had gotten the last of a few different dishes, which I was a little upset about, but I knew there would be fresh food in the Ban Mary soon. I put some food on my plate and went to go back to my table where my sister was waiting. Before I had left the food area holding my plate of food, a lady who had been behind me as I was getting my food stopped me and said something along the lines of, "There's hardly any food here. When are they bringing out more?" I'm not sure, but they generally don't take long to cook up new batches of food. "Go ask the chef then. I'll wait here." Any normal person would be able to tell that I did not work here. Not only was I not wearing the all-black uniform with an embroidered company logo on it, but that I was also holding a plate of food. She looked at me with a piercing stare and did the thing old white ladies do when they push up their top lip with their bottom one. "I don't work here. I'm out for dinner with my family. I'm not even wearing a uniform." She looked me up and down and scowled a bit. I went and sat back down at the table with my sister and quietly told her what happened. The lady went back to the table without talking to the chef and sat down with the guy with 2 full plates of food who went before me in the buffet. He ate both plates of food while she waited for the chef to come out with more food before going and yelling at him. To summarize, people don't know how to act. I wonder what OP's ethnicity was, and if, the old lady was just kind of pulling the race card out and just, "I know you're wearing a pink shirt, but you're the same color as them, so you must work here." Oh god, that was probably the most messed up thing I've said on this entire channel. Uniform confusion makes Lady go crazy. I'm usually a friendly person and don't like confrontation, but when I get backed into a corner, I will stand my ground. I work the graveyard shift at a store that has a similar look to another more popular store. I had just gotten off my shift working 11 to 7 and had noticed my shoes, slip resistant kind is important for later, are looking a bit worn. I should also add I'm wearing a coat as it's winter, so my name badge is covered, but the blue polo I'm wearing is visible. So I go to my usual place to get my shoes. They're cheap but last long. And as I'm looking for my size with my phone in hand, about to answer a friend's text, a lady with the usual "Can I get some service?" hair, about 30 to 40, walks over and is staring at me. The conversation follows. RL is rude lady, M is manager, me, you guessed it, me. "Excuse me, are you gonna help me or not? I need these shoes in another size." "I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't." Before I can finish, she cuts me off and raises her voice. "Don't give me that excuse, you lazy piece of crap. I can see your uniform under your jacket. I've got enough problems this morning without your attitude." I calmly look at her and try again, but before I can say another word, "No, I don't want to hear your lazy ass excuse. I'm not having this. We're seeing your manager." Now, I'm a fairly sized guy, 5'11" and weigh over 250. So, what made this lady think she could even make me move an inch, I'll never know. She grabs my wrist and starts to try to drag me off to see a manager, I presume, but I wasn't having that. I just finished my shift, I'm tired, and I want to get my stuff and leave. The moment she grabs my wrist, phone in opposite hand, I switch my camera on and start recording. I plant my feet firmly and lock up the muscles in my legs and pull my arm back. As I did this, she kept going forward and this caused her to fall off balance and fall. She gets up glaring at me. "How dare you?" She screeches and then slaps me hard. "I'm getting a manager and then I'm calling the police." She storms off. At this point, I could have left, but I've seen enough of these situations to know it's too good to pass up. I stay where I am and she returns with the manager. "That's him," she says with the "you're screwed and I win" smile. "Sir, this woman says you refused to help her, then assaulted her?" I calmly open my jacket to show the name badge I have on, showing the name tag of the store I work for. The lady, realizing her mistake, looks at me and quickly says, "Why are you shopping here if you don't work here?" I politely smile and respond, "'Cause my store doesn't sell shoes." "Well, he still assaulted me." I then turn my phone around and play the video of her grabbing me, falling, and then slapping me. The manager looks to the woman and says something along the lines of how she attacked me and then if the police were called, I could press charges. The lady splutters and looks about ready to die of shock and I simply say, "I happily won't press charges if you simply apologize." The look on her face when she heard this was perfect. She apologized and seemed like the effort of this was about to kill her, but I thanked her and she was asked to leave the store. The manager apologized and took me to the customer service desk. Turns out the brand I always buy is from a company that makes shoes for this chain specifically, so they have a kind of warranty to last a certain amount of time before needing to be replaced. So I was just able to take my old ones off and walk out wearing the new ones. Thanks lady, I got free shoes. Why is the logic to get the person fired? Like, I want to know that. Like, a lot of these stories are people who don't work there who are getting mistook for people who work there, and they always jump to, "I'm gonna get you fired." Like, that jump of logic is extremely harsh and unnecessary. When I used to work in fast food and would bring the food out to the customer, if we ever got stopped by someone asking a question, we would tell them to ask one of the employees that worked up front, because chances are they knew the answer better than we did. Hearing these stories makes me really, I guess, grateful that I never ran into a customer who then proceeded to yell at me for not being willing to help them at that moment, because a lot of the time, us cooks, we had a lot of work on our shoulders and we had to be back in the kitchen immediately working on the next person's food, as there were only 2 people in the kitchen. So, just crazy. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.